Hello and welcome to the overhand knot part 9. So you'll remember from previous videos that we tied our overhand knot. There's our simple single overhand knot, and we could also tie that as a double overhand knot like this, or even, if you remember, as a triple. 1, 2, 3. Triple overhand knot like this. Make a decorative knot. However, there's a different way of doing this, a new concept I want to introduce you to, and this is another useful thing to be able to do for various reasons, which I will show you in another video. So when we do the double overhand knot, we go through like this and then through again. What we're going to do this time, we're going to go as if we were making our overhand knot, but we're not going to come up through the loop. We're going to make a loop around the standing part again. Okay, like this, and then this working end is going to go through the loop. And what you end up with is a knot that looks like this. On one side there's two lines neatly set against each other, and on the other side of the knot there's a sort of a cross. See that? Sort of a cross shape. This is known in various different places by different names. Some people call it a barrel knot. Often in climbing and tree climbing it's called a barrel knot. Elsewhere it's sometimes called a blood knot, because this is the knot that was tied in the end of lines on a cat of nine tails to bite in to the skin rather more badly. So let's have a look at it again. Make that initial loop as if we're going to do an overhand knot, but we don't come up through the loop. We're going to go round the standing part, and then we're going to go through the loop. Dress it up, and there is our blood knot, sometimes known as a barrel knot. There's a useful way to think about this, and it's a good introduction to the idea that knots are three-dimensional, and an easy way to do this is to actually tie it around something. More often than not, that's your thumb. So you're creating a sort of tunnel, if you like this, and that working end is going to go through that tunnel before you then dress the knot. Dressing the knot, just as a reminder, just means to tidy things up, get everything running smoothly against each other rather than being a bird's nest. When you're practicing barrel knots, by the way, on smaller stuff like paracord, it will work on paracord, but if you're using string or something like that, it's going to be very difficult to undo them, so use disposable stuff. Let's look at it again. As if we were going to do the overhand knot, but we're not going to come up through the loop. We're going to go round the back of its own standing part and then through the resulting loop. One more time. Make the loop as if we were going to do the overhand knot, but we don't go through the loop. We go round the standing part a second time, and we come up through both the loops that are made. I hope that makes sense, and it will look like this. There'll be a sort of a cross shape here on one side, and on the other side the two lines will lie against one another. And like the overhand single and double and treble versions, you can do the same thing here. So let's do it around our thumb to make it easier. Let's go once and a third time. Take the working end through and we end up, when we dress that up, we end up with a triple blood knot or barrel knot. It's a good stopper knot. It's got a little bit more bulk than the other version of the double and triple overhand knots, and it's a nice decorative knot. It's really good on laces of hoodies and what have you. It looks particularly good tied in leather, for example, like this. You'll often see that on deck shoes and the toggles of coats, that sort of thing. So there we are, the barrel knot or blood knot. There is another knot which we'll look at another time, which is also called a barrel knot, just to confuse the issue, but we're not going to get into that just yet. Let me show you that one more time. Make a loop. Instead of coming up through that loop, go around the back of the standing part and then come up through the two loops that result. Dress the knot, you end up with that. And in the next video I'll show you some applications for that.